I'm Andrew Downie. In the previous video, we looked at using styles to create well-structured and therefore highly accessible documents. Today we are going to look at the sometimes vexed issue of using tables. A brief history. 2 decades ago, screen readers could not navigate tables. They could read the information in the table, but they would read it in a linear fashion, which could be very confusing when trying to read a whole string of numbers. These days, quite complex HTML and PDF tables can be navigated by screen readers, but many screen reader users may find the navigation quite difficult. There is less scope to build in accessibility in Microsoft Word. So given all the above, keep tables as simple as possible. Let's have a look at a table. I'm going to let you hear the screen reader reading the table.
Table with 6 rows and 9 columns, level 1 row, 1 column, 1.
So the screen reader tells me how big the table is, how many rows and columns.
Row 2 Monday.
I'm going to move to the right.
Brisbane column 220. Sydney column 315. Canberra column 410.
You'll notice that it is reading the column title plus the cell that I'm focused on. A limitation of Word, if I arrow down,
row 312. Row 414.
It doesn't tell me the day of the week. The NVDA screen reader, which is the one I'm using, has a nice little feature.
Column 1 Wednesday. Row 2 Monday.
That lets us deal with that. I'm going to press an NVDA command.
Set row 2 column 1 as start of row headers.
Now I'll go to the right.
Brisbane column. Sydney column 315.
Now I'll go down the column.
Tuesday row 317. Wednesday row 416.
Now the screen reader is reading both column and row headings. When to use tables? Use tables to display tabular data. When not to use tables? Do not use tables to lay out text on the page. This may create major problems for assistive technology, and it may well make revision very difficult. Creating tables. Create the table from the Insert tab of the ribbon. Do not draw the table, because if you do, screen readers will not be able to navigate it. Especially in Word, try not to create non-uniform tables, that is, tables that have merged cells, because the screen readers will then struggle to associate column and row headings with the cell that's being focused. Under Properties in the Layout tab of the ribbon, uncheck Allow rows to break across pages and check Repeat as header row at the top of each page. The reason the screen reader was able to associate the column headings with the cell that I was focused on in that little demo earlier was because I had checked that option. If I hadn't checked it, the screen reader wouldn't have known it was a heading. It's also a useful thing to check anyway, particularly if the table goes over to another page. Auto fit to content can be very helpful, and at least in my copy of Word that's checked by default. Let's have a look at that. I've come to the top row of the table. I suggested earlier going to Properties under the Layout tab of Tables on the ribbon, but we can simply right-click or use the Applications key on the top row and arrowing to Table Properties. There are several tabs here. We want the Row tab. So allow rows to break across pages, I have unchecked it. And repeat as header row, I have checked that, which is very helpful for several reasons. And as I mentioned, auto fit to content is checked on this particular copy of Word by default. For those who are using Office 365, there is another feature that's worth mentioning. If you're still using 2016, then this doesn't apply. I'm going to go to the ribbon with the keyboard, but you can use the mouse. There will be some options here that you may not have in your copy of Word. That's okay. I've come over to Table Tools. Header row is checked. Total row is not checked. Bounded rows are checked. I'll uncheck that because I don't like it being checked. Now we'll drop back into it again. Now first column is not checked. If I check that, if this document was now converted to a PDF using the Save As dialog, that left column would now be marked up correctly so that a screen reader would read it as headings. It's all a bit esoteric and we'll deal with PDFs in another video. Images in Word will be the topic for the next video. I'm Andrew Downie. Thank you for watching.